Is there a chance that your husband may have received a ransom notification?
He wouldn't keep something that big from me.
So I have to tell you, during the pilot of this, I wrote in my notes, it's so refreshing to watch him play a nice guy after White Lotus and Apple Never Fall. And I was quickly made a fool. So I'm so curious.
He's back. No.
He's back. How does it feel to be in what some may say like your villain era?
My villain era. Well, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. Yeah, I do hope to step out of that villain era. It'd be nice to just have a little reprieve from villainy. But ultimately, I'm very happy to get to play these characters that are complex and multi-layered or multi-dimensional, and they happen to be in these like family drama thriller genre right now. But ultimately, my goal is like to get to work with good people on good material, and that's been the case. So if I get to keep doing that, I'm happy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do love that he's definitely not a black and white villain. Like there's so much more to him. There's that moment he mentions that his like parents didn't really want to be parents and he was sort of trying to protect his siblings from that. Was that sort of your North Star for him, or what was the key to sort of unlocking this character for you?
Yeah, there's a lot of it's a lovely question. Thank you. Yeah, I think there's a lot of justification in the actions he's taken, the choices he's made, and the way that he deals with his siblings in particular, and Marissa to some extent, in which he's very generous and supportive and compassionate, emotionally, financially, but that also comes with a high expectation, and some of that expectation is like a wide berth in his own behavior. To say like, I'm trying to keep 1,000 things in the air, and I can't also be like gentle and kind and sweet. Sometimes I'm gonna be a little mean because I got a lot going on and you need to step up. Yeah. And as we meet the family or the siblings in particular, those dynamics and the circumstances are close enough. Everyone has like a shared unhealthy perspective on one another. But as the tension builds, that starts to fracture a bit where finally Brian and Leah sort of see that Peter's narrative and their reality are actually a bit further apart than before. And that continues on, in which they find their own independence, and Peter is still trying to define them or control them in this way that served them all up until this breaking point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, your character is one that has a lot of secrets, which I feel like probably is a lot of fun to play. I mean, obviously he accidentally injured his brother as a child. He switched the babies in the car wreck. Are there any particular moments in your performance where you purposely sort of hinted at secrets he was keeping that people might pick up on a rewatch?
It's like, they decide in the edit, really, I suppose, like what is too much or what's not enough. And it feels fun to think, oh, maybe I'll feather this in, but you want it to be like almost imperceptible in a way. But the first time when Pena comes and shows us the iPad with, Sophia, her character, is on this iPad and saying, have you ever seen Carrie Finch before? And I have seen Carrie Finch before. I've seen her 5 years earlier and thought she was dead. And there's just like a second of recognition, and then saying like, this is who has my son? And like those little moments where even if it's just internal and you don't see anything, some response or reaction, it's fun to have built that in internally and then hopefully have that seep out through the episodes,
Yeah.
Without like
Right.
linking to what's occurring, you know what I mean? Or playing it off in some way that the audience goes like, all right, so 20 minutes in and we know that's the guy who did it. Cool.
Yeah, 100%. I have to say your death scene was very satisfying. So I'm so curious if you can talk about shooting that with Sarah. And then what is the key to dying on camera?
Well, every scene with Sarah's a delight. I mean, she's an incredible actor and a wonderful person and leader on set. And, like a lot of as much as you want to work on these great things and be a part of these stories or shows or films or whatever it is, like ultimately the thing I take away is the experience of making them, and that gets defined a lot of the time by the people involved. And that culture or that tone is really set by like number one on the call sheet. And so to have Sarah in that position is like the most you can ask for. Like, she just is the greatest and sets a very high bar in a lot of ways, but with like humility and generosity, not with an iron fist. And then, the death scene is it's fun to do. It's because you get to figure out what's too much and what's not enough and how to communicate this thing and work out his panic as he realizes like, oh, this is it. And also the realization that Marissa has orchestrated this. Um, and I guess it's the moment, this moment of tension of like gasping and then really like letting your whole body sink and seeing how long you can keep that like immobile, paralyzed stillness before you have to breathe again.
Yeah.
But it's like being in like fourth grade and like messing around with your friends at recess and pretending to fall down a hill and then like die. It's like it's just a very advanced version of doing that at 38.
I, I love it. I feel like that, like being drunk on camera, like I feel like those probably are the hardest things to do, like the physicality of it, because it's so full body.
And the drunk is hard because you're drunk people for the most part are trying to be sober.
Mhm.
It's like they're trying to play this off or don't know that they're hammered. So like it's easier to play someone who's really wasted as opposed to someone who's had like a few drinks and says something they shouldn't have said. Like
Yeah.
that's tricky to navigate that. But fun. That's like
Yeah.
fun.
I mean, this show has so many twists and so many turns. I'm so curious, what was the most shocking moment for you personally?
Probably when Abby slapped Daniel and it wasn't scripted. That was pretty shocking. No, she didn't. She didn't. She didn't.
I was like,
She didn't.
whoa.
Um, they were like, cut. And Abby was like, shocking. Well, when I sat down with Minky, I'd only been in Melbourne for, I'd only been given the first couple of scripts. They hadn't finished the others. And Minky, who directed the first four episodes, was like, do you want to ask me if I wanted to know what happened in the rest of the show? And I assumed it was just a pretty straight thriller, like boy goes missing and we try to track down our son. Um, so that was pretty thrilling when she was like, you're the cause of this. Like, you've set this in motion unwittingly 5 years earlier. Um, and then from there, like everything, it's all planned and choreographed and scripted, and your job is to make it seem like it's occurring for the first time. So hopefully nothing is genuinely shocking
Yeah.
on the day. Um, but that was a pretty great reveal.
Yes, 100%. Well, thank you so much for your time. I can't wait to see you play more villains, more good guys, more
Thank
everybody.
you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.